He's Ash.
He's David. And this is the Artful Pose.
Alright, so today we're going to be reviewing the World War II Logan, or World War II Wolverine. Of course, I'm going to go with more Logan because if I remember correctly, he didn't have the Wolverine moniker just yet at this time. So we're going to call him World War II Logan. So this Logan is absolutely fantastic. I mean, if you're a Logan collector, I should say, or a Wolverine collector, this, right up there with the Weapon X figure, might be on the top of your list. Because this is great for if you want to go for that classic retro style grouping with Captain America and the others. This is the Logan that you want. So first we're going to go over some details about him. So let's go over the face sculpt. So right out of the box, he comes with the military issue World War II helmet. Great strap detail. He's got that screaming face because he's going to be running into battle. He's got some amazing textures right here on his belt and where the ammo clips go. See if you can see that. Ooh, sorry about that. And yeah, I mean, just look at that. That is some great texturing, so it can distinguish between the fatigues and the pouches that are on there, and all the nice little pockets. And this is all sculpted in, and the paint apps, because it's sculpted in like this, they work. I'm one of those that I'm not going to nitpick any type of paint bleeding, because for me, these are mass-produced. A machine can only do so much, as opposed to hand craftsmanship. But even look at the stitching right here on the boot cover. That's just great. And even the knife sheath, that is just... I've always appreciated little details like that, even from when I was a little child, because for a mass-produced figure that you're predominantly meant to be played with, you don't have to have this much detail, but they gave it to us. It's one of those things when toy companies like Hasbro, when they knock it out of the park, they knock it out of the park. Alright, let's get to accessories. First off, he comes with an extra head, so if you don't want that screaming face, which depending on the mood or the scene I'm going for in my display, will judge whether or not I want the screaming face. Obviously, that's why it's there, and that's why I love when companies like Hasbro or any other gives those extra heads, because you have options. You definitely have options. This is very well done. I love the part where it comes over his eye, gives him that "I'm too cool for school." And the munchops. Oh, I love these munchops. Personally, I wish more Logan heads came with the munchops. It's one of my favorite hair pieces about him, because it gives him that rugged, animalistic look, which sometimes we tend to forget. Very handsome. And he also comes with an extra open hand, which I did switch out already with the fist, as you can see here. So it comes with the two hands. No claws, by the way. Because during this time, if I remember correctly, he had the bone claws, but he didn't really use them as much. So, during that time, he had these, which were predominantly used for climbing, which then he strapped to his hands and started using them, which we now later on became an actual appendage. Very nice. The strap detail looks very good. And you can see that the claws are actually a separate piece, so if you want to remove them and just have wrapped hands for when he's doing some cage matches, you can totally do that. That's not a bad idea. Also comes with a WWII standard issue rifle with a gigantic ammunition clip right there. Not a lot of weathering, if not none at all, which is fine because it gives it that very comic booky feel. And he's got the trigger hand for it, which we'll do some posing later. Also comes with his military issue standard knife, which we've seen quite a few of these if you've been collecting the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified series. Very typical. And he also comes with a standard military issue messenger bag, which I feel and think, you can correct me down in the comments below, that this is a simple repaint of one of the satchels from a Green or Hobgoblin. Still works very well. I think even Indiana Jones has one of these. Yeah. Alright, let's get to articulation. Okay. So I swapped out the head because I actually love this head. It gives it almost kind of like a Wild Elvis kind of quality. Hey, mama. So the head can look this far up, this far down. So you can give him looking somber if he wants to, or give that look. What are you looking at, bub? The head itself, there's no ratchet system, so he can't look all the way back, he can't look over the folder, which is totally fine. I would expect that in a Spider-Man, but not necessarily a Logan. And it just pops right on. So you can get some decent amount of tilt. If he wants to look at anybody, question, you can look up to see the planes fly over. Works very well. He has double jointed elbows. They are a bit stiff. They can go about this far, which is typical Marvel Legends, and the sculpted fabric does not impede it at all, so you can get some good range. There's no butterfly joints, which is a bit of a shame, but I understand if that happened, even the buckle system, all that would have to be taken out, because it just would not work. He can lean back only that far. It's not a lot, and a lot of it due to the sculpting right here, and the belt stops it. He can go this far forward. The clip area, it's made out of a softer fabric. Hasbro's never been keen on making rubbery type plastic, but it does not impede too much. It does flex, so if you want to get them hunched over, you can. Legs can go out that far. Can't do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme, but close enough. Legs can go far. He's got great range, especially with all the sculpted fabric on him. Double jointed knees. Ugh. Can go about that far. Does have your classic ankle rockers. Go all the way around. And oh, this is really cool. See this? There's a boot cut. There's a boot cut! Which I always love. So when you're having trouble posing, break it in there. And see, even the knife sheath, it's made out of a somewhat. Now I want to see, let's try it out while we're here. Let's put the baby knife in the sheath. Oops. Did I get that in right? A little stiff there. I like that. So when I pushed it in, it gave a little resistance, which is fantastic, because one of the things I always have a problem with, and I have it on some of the Deadpools, is that the sheath isn't nearly as deep, or it's too wide. So you could put him on a shelf, God forbid he falls, which we all know that can happen, and then you lose the knife. The knife goes flying, and so long. He just has an empty sheath. Maybe it's stabbed in someone and he left it there. Very irresponsible. So with this, it is in there. So you really gotta, once it's in there, you gotta pull it out. It slides right back inside. With the boot cut, you can still rotate it with the knife inside, but you can see here there is some gappage happening, so I would be very careful, because I could definitely lead to some breakage right there. Ooh, look at that. There's even some indentation of where the sheath goes. So, it's movable, but as you can tell, because of the way the sculpting is, may not want to move it nearly as much. Overall, I really like this figure. Alright, let's get him to some scale comparisons. So here we have our World War II Logan with the Gamerverse Captain America that came with the Venom. I absolutely love the scaling with this because Logan is supposed to be a tad shorter than the rest. I think he's a bit under 6 feet. Oh no, way further. I think he's about 5'4". And I know Captain America is supposed to be pretty tall. So they go very well together. I'm using the Gamerverse one since it's the one that I most recently have open. And if you are new getting into collecting, this probably would be your first option since it is still available at a decent price and you get a fantastic Venom to go with it. So that's what he looks like with Captain America. So if you want to get a great World War II Captain America display and have Logan there, because technically there are storylines where they do meet up, because Logan's over 200 years old, you can do it. Now let's try to compare him to some other classic characters that came out during the 1930s and 40s. So, to mix metaphors, we have McFarlane's Batman this is a multiverse, this is from the Batman animated series. Ooh, they scale pretty well, so you can have Logan show up in a cartoon with Batman. Alright. Another one, let's go a little bit taller, so if you want to mix them with your displays. Here's NECA's Phantom. And because Logan's stature is supposed to be just that much shorter, it works. It can work, so you can even have him with other 6.5 to 7 inch scale. In fact, let's do just that. Let's go with the same era. Let's go with a Fleischer Superman from McFarlane. It's a DC Multiverse line. I mean, Superman just towers over him. So if you want to get that comic book accurate short king, you definitely can pull it off, and it would work. And here we have another display. I swapped out some of the accessories. That's him with his claw hands. Because even though he didn't have the adamantium at the time, he still got that animal instinct and the mutant abilities. So overall, I want to say, if you are a Wolverine enthusiast, this should be one of those that's on the top of your list, especially if you liked it when he was in that era. It's perfect, especially pre-Weapon X. Well, please like and subscribe the Artful Pose, and I hope you enjoy.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our latest video. We really appreciate it. We hope that you found it entertaining and enjoyable. And please make sure to share, like, and subscribe. And if you want to see us cover something, please put it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And until the next video, make all your poses artful. Is this artful? I don't know. I'm such a rookie. Anyway, see you later.